On April 23, 2025, the Vatican announced the passing of Pope Francis at the age of 88. The world mourned, but his legacy continues to live on, in hearts, in history, and in hope. But it wasn't just his origin that stunned the world, it was his choice of name, Francis. Never before had a pope taken this name. It was a tribute to Saint Francis of Assisi, the patron of humility and the poor. But more than that, it was a declaration: this would be a papacy rooted in simplicity, compassion, and service. Pope Francis chose not to reside in a lavish apostolic palace but opted instead for the modest Domus Sancti Marthi guest house. He paid his own hotel bill after the conclave. Small gestures? Perhaps. But they revealed the heart of a shepherd who wished to walk with his flock. A shepherd should smell like his sheep, he once said. And Pope Francis meant it. The voice for our common home. In 2015, he released Laudato Si, a groundbreaking encyclical that boldly declared climate change a moral issue. It was the first time a pope addressed environmental degradation with such urgency. He called Earth our common home and warned that the poor and marginalized would suffer the most from environmental neglect. The Earth, our home, is beginning to look more and more like an immense pile of filth, he wrote, not as hyperbole, but as a prophet's plea for conscience. His message sparked dialogue beyond the church, among scientists, leaders, and youth activists. The Vatican became a green ambassador. The bridge builder. Pope Francis believed in bridges, not walls. In 2016, he met with Russian Orthodox Patriarch Kirill, ending nearly a millennium without official dialogue between their churches. He also played a quiet but pivotal role in restoring diplomatic ties between the United States and Cuba in 2014. Former U.S. officials later called him the silent mediator. His vision of peace was not abstract, it was lived, embodied. Dialogue is the only way to build peace, he affirmed, and lived out that creed in every continent he stepped foot on. The champion of the poor. From day one, Francis championed the marginalized. He embraced lepers. He dined with homeless people. He washed the feet of refugees, prisoners, and women, breaking centuries of papal protocol. He opened free clinics and showers for the homeless around the Vatican. I want a church that is poor and for the poor, he declared. To the powerful, he often preached restraint. To the forgotten, he offered presence. Mercy, he said, is the true face of God. A shepherd through crisis. The papacy of Francis faced one of the church's darkest storms, sexual abuse scandals. At first, his responses drew criticism, too cautious, too lenient. But then came decisive action, mass resignations in Chile, reform in how allegations were handled, and unprecedented transparency measures. He met with victims. He wept. And he acknowledged the church's wounds. We abandoned the little ones, he admitted in a 2018 letter, words never spoken so plainly by any pope before him. The path to healing is far from over. But Francis began it with humility. The Pope of Hope. In 2025, shortly before his passing, Francis published a memoir titled Hope. It was a deeply personal reflection, not just on his faith, but on fear, failure, and forgiveness. He described moments of darkness, times he felt unworthy of the papal role, but also the grace he discovered through prayer and people. Hope, he wrote, is the flame that never dies, even in the coldest nights. This message resonated with a generation raised on skepticism, searching for something real. Final days and everlasting light. His last public appearance was a quiet blessing from his wheelchair, his voice weaker but his eyes still shining with gentleness. And when the bell of St. Peter's rang to announce his departure from this world, the world did not just mourn a pope. It remembered a man who made holiness human. Remembering Pope Francis. He was not flawless. He was not perfect. But he was real. A man who carried the weight of 1 billion souls with grace, laughter, and unshakable kindness. If God can forgive me, he once smiled, surely He can forgive anyone. His legacy is not a marble statue or grandiose throne, but a million acts of mercy, whispered prayers, and doors flung wide open to love. He was not just the Pope. He was the father of the world. Content generated by AI. Subscribe for more powerful stories of faith and humanity.